Hey everyone, I am back and I am coming to you from this really beautiful little spot. I'll just show you really quickly. I am just about to deliver a message for you guys before I head off for a bit of afternoon fun with some friends. But what I wanted to deliver this message for you guys today on is to not get disheartened when others don't live up to the standard that you hold for them. All right, so and so many of us can do this because we can see the potential of others, we can see their greatness, we can see how they could be doing such great things in the world. We hold them to a high standard because we hold ourselves to a high standard, and at the end of the day, you know, sometimes they fall short of what we perceive to be their standard that they should be living at. And I don't want you guys to be disheartened by that, because we're being over responsible for people when we decide that that's the standard that they should be living at. And if we're becoming disheartened, if we're being affected by somebody else not stepping up in their life, you know, that's actually not healthy. It's actually, you really need to take responsibility for your own state of being and stop being over responsible for those other people who aren't meeting your criteria. And the reason why I'm bringing this message to you guys today, because a lot has been going on in my world, and I have had a few new experiences going on where people who have become in the know of certain circumstances actually like freak out and get really weak and really scared. And it's very surprising to me because I tend to see, you know, like the best in everybody, and I have this like really high standard, and particularly for people who are in my industry, right? So particularly for other coaches and people who are really helping to be leaders in other people's lives, I'm seeing them, you know, just be weak and kind of be bought out. And it's very surprising. And at first, I oftentimes feel a little bit disheartened because I think, where's your integrity, right? Like, where are your standards? Where are your values? How can you be preaching this big game, but you don't follow it yourself, right? And before them having knowledge that they do now, you know, it's kind of been like, well, they just don't know. You know, you can't know what you don't know, right? So you're operating always the best you can with the tools and the knowledge that you have. But when people come into the know, it's kind of like, well, there goes that, you know, little crutch that you might have had that may have, you know, given you the excuse as to why you would behave the way that you do. And now that's gone, and you can end up feeling disheartened, but like I did for a minute. And then I was like, oh, okay, hang on a minute. That's not me taking responsibility for my own state of being. I'm not going to put my power outside of myself. I'm not going to let the choices of others affect me on an emotional level. So I'm just going to let this alert me to the fact that I'm being over responsible for how other people need to show up, and I need to just take the lessons for myself and take the responsibility for my own state of being. Because whenever, and I've shared this message with you guys multiple times by now, but whenever you are being over responsible for another person's state of being, their actions, whatever it is, you're simultaneously being under responsible for your own state of being and your own actions, because you're hyper focused on what they need to be and who they need to be and how they need to be operating. And simultaneously it's affecting you on the personal level. So you're not actually taking responsibility for how you're showing up and how things affect you, right? You're not being the effect, you're being affected. So I know this happens and plays out for so many of us in our relationship dynamics as well, where we're just like, we have this high standard, you know, and we're just like, well, come and meet this standard, and we feel disappointed when another person doesn't show up at the standard we've created for them, right? And so what we need to do again is take responsibility for what we're co-creating and stop being over responsible for other people, and, you know, look at that and, you know, go just allow it to be an opportunity for you to decide, you know, whether that's you placing really high expectations that aren't really serving the dynamic on that person, and really you need to just look after yourself, or if it is a really a standard in which, you know, it's a must, then you need to look at the dynamic that you're in and go, okay, well, is this going to serve me in this relationship or not, right? So hoping that this message is resonating with you guys, and it just gives you that reminder to not get disheartened when other people don't meet a standard that you've set for them, right? And just realize, you know, like I have to remind myself of, you know, just recently quite a lot about, which is, you know, I assume the best. Sometimes you assume the best of people so much that it can kind of just be disheartening when you realize that reality is they're human, right? And they do the things that they're going to do their own way, for their own reasons. And, you know, to not let that impact you on a personal level, and instead just expand your space and capacity to understand our individual differences at a higher capacity. So, hope this has served you. I'd love to check in with you guys. I do have to take off really quickly, but I just wanted to bring this special message to you in the hope that it would serve you. So if you're tuning in live, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a comment, say hi, let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. If you have any words of wisdom, or you just want to say hi, I always love that, or any questions. But yeah, today's message, all about not getting disheartened when other people don't quite match up to the standard that you've set for them, all right? And allow it to build your own compassion, and allow it to alert you to where you're giving your power away, and you're being too responsible for another person and how they show up, rather than taking the responsibility of how you show up in your world. So I will check in who's been able to join me. So I've got Judy and Diaz and Kelly's here, and Philippe and Scott and Emma and Alex. Loving each and every one of you guys for joining live. So appreciated. Hope this message has served you. And as always, guys, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. As I said earlier, I'm off for a bit of Sunday afternoon fun at some friend's house, and I can't wait. It's going to be a good afternoon, and I hope you guys have got something fun planned, whether it's morning, night, day, wherever you are in the world. And thanks again for everybody who could join me live. Sending you all of my love, and I will see you tomorrow.